Hello and welcome back to the On The Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. As you can see, we're joined by another guest, and you can kind of see the poster in the background, or one of the posters, the main talking point of this evening's show. So, this is the jack of all trades. It's the writer, director, producer, and the main musician on the latest movie to hit Screambox. And if I'm right, it debuted in at number 4 on its opening day.
Number six, I think it did drop to five. Yeah, it was six.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
sorry. Well,
yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was being kind. You should have just went with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go with 6, maybe 5. Um, in Cannibal Comedian, but this is Mr. Sean Haitz. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing? I'm
Not
I'm thrilled to do this.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come on. This is a movie I've seen being advertised on social media quite a bit, actually. Obviously, Ryan James is big on it, and for
Oh
a good
yeah.
reason too. Very enjoyable film. Obviously, Cannibal Comedian is the name. If you missed it in the intro, it opened on Screambox at the time of recording. Was it 2 days ago?
March 4th
March 4th.
for me.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a couple of days ago at the time of recording. And I tell you what, to jump in straight to number 6 says an awful lot. Screenbox is a very popular site. Uh, so congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a trip to open up the app and see it in the top 10. Yeah, I kind of pictured it in my mind it happening, and it's one of those things that then it actually did happen, but when you actually see it, it was just like my eyes just like whoa. Like that's serious. That's just
Is that
something.
my movie?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was surprised. But it's just one of those things it's you look at, you watch Netflix, you watch all these stream platforms, and have your name or your movie in there is pretty miraculous, I have to say.
It's awesome. Obviously, shout out to the lads at Screenbox there for setting this interview up as well. Much appreciated.
Yes,
Um,
yes, thank you, Screambox.
yeah, but let's jump into it. A little bit about yourself, Sean. Why don't you tell us about yourself and how this came about?
Sure. So I was born no.
Really, you were
Yeah,
born. You didn't just
yeah, yeah.
appear.
Yep, yep. Yeah, no, I was gonna do a bad joke, but we got plenty of time for some bad jokes. So yeah, no, I grew up in Sarasota, Florida, on the Gulf side, and yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I was making movies, and I loved Halloween. That was, we had a carport, so we couldn't have a actual haunted house. I wanted to have some sort of haunted house when I was a little kid, but we made a haunted yard, and
Called a car hole.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's called a car hole.
Car hall, yeah. And oh, okay, so
Shout out to the Simpsons.
yeah, yeah, that's funny. Bringing that back. But no, and my mom was totally into it. We would make all the graves, and we'd have even back then, now that I'm thinking is I was writing corny jokes then. I had Eddie Frog croaked, as one of the graves. Like that we had so much fun, and then I would have my friends come and now they call them scare actors, and they would come and help scare people. And at 10, I dressed up as Freddy Krueger, and I'd never even seen Freddy Krueger. I just loved the persona of this character. And at that time, you would actually mix up a batch of like, I don't know if it was latex, but it was this rubbery, liquid, and you put it in the microwave, and then all of a sudden it was gone. It was never seen again. I don't know, maybe something bad happened with it. But it was like a goo, and you put it on your face, and you look like Freddy Krueger. And it was pretty
Candle wax or something, is it?
yeah, yeah, it was something, and I was jumping out of the bushes. I had the nicer fingers, and so then shortly after that, I got my hands onto of a video camera from my grandma, and then we were making movies. And then fast forward a little bit from there, I got obsessed with the movie Scream. So I must have shot the cold open with Drew Barrymore like probably 20 times. I'd use my sister-in-law. I'd use whoever could play that was older because we were kids. And then I got one of those voice changer things,
Nice.
and we would do that. And then we we ended up getting to go to my elementary school and shoot there, and we shot scenes there. And then, I was always thinking producing. I had this producer mind. I'm like, oh, this person has a Mustang. I can't drive. I'm only a kid. Can we have Ghostface, kill someone, then take off and sped out in the car? Because that's going to be great production value. So we were doing that, and I don't know. It's just something I always loved. And then, even fast forward from there, I made a movie uh, called Mangrove Slasher 2, and there was no first one, so you can't find it. And I didn't really know how to write a movie then, but I just thought like if you watch like Friday the 13th Part 5, you're not watching it for the story. You're watching it for the nudity, for the kills, for the 80s, So that's what that movie was. We had a big beach party massacre. We actually had two kegs come so it turned into a real party. And that was a super fun film, which is on Amazon. You can get. And so yeah, maybe it's just in my blood.
Is Friday 5 the one with the sleeping bag kill, or is that 4?
I can't remember.
Anyway, I
Yeah,
I, I,
yeah.
I digress.
I
It's my
like when
favorite.
Kane Hodder came into it though. He brought another.
I think that's 5. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
might be wrong
Something
with that.
blood. Yeah,
Somewhere along there. He made
yeah.
a few of them anyway.
Manhattan one is really fun.
Yeah,
Except
where he's
he's on a
where
boat like half the movie.
he's walking along the Butcher Man's boombox.
Yeah, oh yeah. I had the what is it called? Just Jason Goes to Manhattan, right? I had the poster in my room like 16 years old because I just love that
It's seven.
poster.
It's 7, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, I think
mask
so.
over New York or wherever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a killer poster. I love that poster.
Yeah. That's actually been a topic on this show on a number of occasions. Like like VHS boxes and posters and stuff. And I wouldn't mind. I was only asked recently on one about what was my favorite movie poster growing up, and everyone would always think, oh, it's obviously their favorite movie or whatever. Like I used to love the Nightmare on Elm Street one, where it was the blue thing looking down on Nancy when she was in the bed with the face coming out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's
But my all time favorite movie poster was House.
Oh yeah.
The
I think I
finger.
know what that one looks like. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's
I don't know
good.
why. It just from whenever I remembered it as a young kid, it's always just been that one. But there's a lot to be said for a good poster for a movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, what do I got? I love this. This is one of it's the duality face.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
The axe and the mic,
yeah, the axe and I mean, murders on and off stage.
in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the movie at hand. So tell us a little bit about where the idea for Cannibal Comedian came from and what kind of inspired it for you.
Yeah, it really did stem from me coming out to LA, and I wanted to pursue stand-up comedy, and which I did. I worked on it for a while, and I realized really
Tough business.
quickly how. Hmm?
It's a tough business.
It is, and that's what I was going to say. It was so brutal. It's a brutal business, and I mean, you start picking up things that are like that work with this movie concept. Like, a comic will say, "I slaughtered the room," and I was coming off Big Top Evil, which has clowns killing, eating people, and there you go, right? So it really stemmed from there and just a serial killer on stage doing comedy, and I just thought that concept was kind of wacky, and I hadn't seen it before, so I really wanted to push forward on it because it felt like an original idea.
I mean, I've never seen it.
Yeah,
Um, it's different, and I've seen a lot of horror movies.
right. Yeah.
Um, I really enjoyed the concept. Now, I'd said to you off screen, the way the movie's set up, I wasn't enjoying it until it clicked in my own head as to what it was. I was expecting something completely different, obviously going by the name and
Right.
the types of movie. I was fully expecting it to be Tucker and Dale or Shaun of the Dead kind of movie,
Sure.
but
Exactly.
it's not. And then I rewatched it again, the first half of it again this morning. Just to see and be like, and I was like, now I get it properly.
It's artist's journey.
Yeah,
He's struggling to make it.
I mean, as I said, it didn't click with me for a little while. Now maybe I was tired when I was watching it, or could have been any kind of factor. But once it clicked in my head, I was like, "This is awesome."
Originally what it was going to have that little bit more Tucker versus Dale or Tucker Dale versus Evil,
Very
and
cool.
Evil Dead type of like punchy, like fucking go at it, horror comedy, pop, pop. But then it just the script kind of changed and it kind of told a little bit of my story and me as a musician and and then we had Crystal, a songwriter musician, just doing a road trip just to go do a show that she got booked for, and she's got her album and she's just trying to make it, and so it's got that whole feel and just a struggling artist. And but then the fun part is for me is then he's a cannibal, and he's got this cannibal neighbors, and some of that kind of came from like Joe Dante type of movies with the like the Burbs. I don't know if you've seen the Burbs,
Ah,
but
great movie.
yeah. So it's got a little bit of that feel. Big Tim Burton guy, but yeah, it was just the script kind of kept changing, but the initial pitch deck was that like and we still kind of promote it that way. It's like Ace Ventura, meets Texas Chainsaw. It's got some of that, and but it's not enjoy. It's one of those like things like enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. It's not that wacky do that vibe of a regular. It's a horror comedy, like that feel. Whoa, whoa, yeah, like that high energy kind of cheesiness. It's got cheesiness, but I don't know. I feel like it's got its own tone, to be
It's
honest.
what there's a word for it, isn't it? It's black horror. Isn't that what they
Yeah,
call it? Is it horror comedies, give or
yeah,
take?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like,
And it's sort of a dramedy in a weird way too.
yeah, like, it was very similar to Joker, but in a better way because Joker was terrible.
The inspirations did come from the Kings of Comedy, which
Great movie.
Joker was Taxi Driver in Kings of Comedy, and we shot this before Joker, and when I started seeing things like similar to Joker, I always think like this, like, wow, at least I'm on the same wavelength as some of these great directors because I'll be thinking of things, and I also saw Strange Darling, and they did the text crawl.
That's
Uh, like
Kyle
Texas
Chandler's
Chainsaw.
movie, isn't it?
Yeah, and they did the text crawl like Texas Chainsaw, and so I go, well, I think I'm on the same wavelength because I'm coming up with these ideas probably around the same time they are, so I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Joker. I thought it was terrible.
Oh, the Strange Darling.
No, Joker itself.
Oh, Joker,
Yeah,
the first one.
yeah. I didn't even
Oh,
bother
you
to
didn't
watch the
like
second
it.
one.
Well, it leaves you feeling kind of like,
Miserable.
yeah,
Bored.
yeah, yeah. It kind of does, but it
Um,
does. If a movie can do something to you, that's a that's a positive in my book. If you don't get anything out of it, it's kind of like wrestling or something. Like if people don't hate you or love you, if you got to be the best heel, right? Like the best bad guy, because you're not going to have a contract pretty soon if you're not getting the
Doing
audience to feel something.
so.
So
I take it you're a wrestling fan then.
I mean I listen to podcasts. I like some of the wrestlers, like the Undertaker and some of these guys. I was listening to Stone Cold for a little bit, but I don't really
Broken
watch
Skulls,
what?
the Broken Skull podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Good. Isn't it?
yeah, they're great. I mean I was part of the Attitude Era. That was so
What a time to be alive.
I came in right in the middle of that, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah,
And Kane is always my favorite.
yeah.
So
He he was a very underutilized wrestler.
yeah, he was so strong and
But I heard the thing where Brock Lesnar says he was the strongest in the locker room.
oh, Kane was?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have said now obviously the newer era would have been Cena because he was just a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course recently there at Elimination Chamber you got the greatest heel turn in wrestling history, even bigger than Hogan's when Cena turned heel
Yeah.
25 years or something. And it was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was that I did watch that clip.
Yeah. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it was good.
back to the film. I
Cannibal Wrestler. Oh, I mean comedian.
yeah, that can be part two. He wants to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah, he just keeps doing different things.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
jobs. Um, obviously, I'm not going to give any spoilers away because, as it's at the time of recording, it's only been out for 3 days, 2 days. Um, but obviously, there are some deaths in it. The effects look phenomenal. It's beautifully shot. Um, obviously, being set in back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Very Texas Chainsaw esque style. A lot cleaner than the original one was, though. Um, but yeah, the character arc. Obviously, I said at the start it was kind of annoying me as it wasn't what I expected it to be. But once it ticked over, I thought like watching the arc of the character build, even in terms of between him and Crystal, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And then obviously the sheriff and Eleanor as well. I was like, this guy's Mr. Popular here. Um, and then even so much when it gets to the comedy club was just it was a great all round build and a very good payoff at the end too.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
a lot went into this film. I mean, so we had a assembly cut, and it still was just missing a lot of pieces. And that's when Ryan James came in, and he plays Bruce in the movie. So he's he's I won't even say, but he's a comic in the movie, and that's when we met. And then later on, we got together, and he became a producer on the movie. And so at the same time, Cortland Gordon came on, and he started helping edit the film and adding some of these great moments in the movie, like kills and stuff like that. Using practical effects. And so we teamed up and we just started spitballing and getting creative with ideas how to just move things around and shoot more. And we have sort of we have an alternate ending, and that's actually that's on the Blu-ray and the extras. So
nice.
it's sort of a different ending happening, and so that you can get on the Blu-ray. Scream Team releasing, and we also we got a 90-minute documentary, the making of the film too. So
It's about the same length as the film.
yeah,
That's good though. I love someone else behind the scenes stuff.
get you a Blu-ray.
Awesome. I don't. Oh, actually, I do have a Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, you said Ryan came on. Ryan was obviously involved in one of the most anticipated movies I had for the last couple of years, and Mutilator 2 as well.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that premiered with Cannibal Comedian at Joe Bob Briggs'
yeah,
Jamboree Drive-In.
yeah. In that was in Vegas last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years now.
2 years now, is it?
Oh, I mean, it was not this last
Yeah, no,
October, October
yeah.
before.
So
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
A year and a half. Yeah, Jesus, the flew by.
Oh yeah, yeah. It flies by, man.
Yeah, just he had a busy weekend that weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was fun.
I know because I obviously had a lot of the mutilator star or cast on at over a period of time, and I'd seen a lot of pictures behind the scenes and stuff. And then superstar Carl Grasso got me a signed poster from all the staff or all the crew.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Mutilator One's one of my favorite films. Anyway,
It's great. It really is, and the
I
sound.
even have a Mutilator tattoo.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
dude, that movie is killer. I really enjoyed it, and you got to listen to it with a good sound system because those kills and that score is so good.
for Mutilator One.
Yeah, for Mutilator One, it's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh, it's just epic. I watch it at least once a year. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but like to be premiered at a Joe Bob Briggs, like for me, I we obviously didn't have Joe Bob Briggs growing up, and same way we didn't have Sven Gooley or anything. But I know how big and popular it is, so that's an amazing achievement in its own right.
yeah, that was unreal. It really was. It was very special. It did kind of fly by, and things just happened, and it already happened. But I could look back on it, and we even had some of the cars from the movie, so they drove them out from
Nice,
uh, from LA, or actually even farther away. So we had like this picture cars parked, and it was a lot of people there, and they showed the film on multiple screens. So you're
nice.
watching at the drive-in, and yeah, that was very surreal.
It's like as I said, we didn't have it, but I do know how popular it is. And whatnot. And now we can get it through Shutter, the Joe Bob Briggs show and stuff. But like
Oh, that's good.
that's one of the biggest festivals in Vegas, really, or could be the biggest horror festival in Vegas. I'm not
Oh
entirely
yeah,
sure.
I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously a huge following for him as well. So a lot of eyes went on the film. So look, it's certainly making a name, and obviously must be doing well that it gets to those places.
Yeah, it's getting to the right people, to be able to screen it. It's
I know, yeah, we got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right. There you go.
that's, that's all you
It's
want. It made it to Ireland, so it's doing well.
yeah. We hopefully more people can see in Ireland. Maybe I would go out there too and show it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, the Irish Film Cinema Society, the IFSC, or there's a horror-thon in Dublin in October.
There we go. Yeah, get the Cannibal Crew out there.
Yeah, it's great. You can bring me along to the red carpet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm good fun most of the time. Unless I don't like the movie, but that's for a different story.
yeah.
Um,
So to dress you up as a victim, you have a slit throat and have the cannibal running after you and stuff.
that'll be hilarious. Straight into the liffey.
Yeah.
Um, no, but as I said, like getting into them kind of festivals must have been phenomenal. Um, and obviously, like it's great to get into any festival. I'd say I'm not sure roughly how I know roughly how it works, but like to get into obviously Joe Bob Briggs is huge.
That was
Um,
the biggest one for sure for us.
but I wouldn't say there's probably many bigger really in terms of um like that really focuses sort of on indie films. Indie Horror Junkies one is pretty big. Obviously, Rick and Amy do a great job with that
Yeah, and I've
because
shown two of my short films, Bellevue Bob just a little bit ago.
Yeah, you
And
were at the one just gone. Just we had him on the show just before the week before it.
yeah, they're great. And I met them when we did show Cannibal Comedian at Phantasm in Orlando, and they had a table and we started talking and stuff. And then I had Bellevue Bob and Thumper's Revenge, two of my short films that I
Stumper's Revenge from Bambi.
yeah, yeah. It's a
Nice,
9 minute short. Yeah. Again,
nice.
it's probably you'll be a little bit like, oh, that's not exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it's playing in the in those tropes for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of those now. The market's become very saturated with
Yeah,
um, any of those films that have gone into the public domain. Obviously, we had Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was the first one.
yeah. That one just blew up. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my man Craig. He played Winnie the Pooh. It was
Oh,
awesome.
that's cool. Yeah.
And then Natasha as well. She was in it. But yeah, that blew up, and then it just left the market wide open for them all, and then they just kind of flooded out from there.
Yeah, I just wanted to get in there a little bit. I was actually inspired from Winnie the Pooh to go out there and make this little short that turned out really well. Johnny Hoops is really good. He's the news guy in Cannibal, and he's also in House of a Thousand Corpse. He's Dr. Satan's patient, but he plays Thumper in
I had to think there. I was like, what the fuck is House of a Thousand Corpses? Obviously the Rob Zombie movie.
yeah.
Jeez, I was having a mind blank there. I was like, I know I've heard of that movie. I like when I said it, I was looking up something earlier, and I was House of the Dead came up, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, that was a fun movie. It wasn't very
Yeah.
good, but it was fun. And then when you said that, I was like, how? Why did that just come back up? You know, I must say I did love House of a Thousand Corpses. Devil's Rejects is better though.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally different.
Yeah,
Really.
two completely different
Yeah,
movies.
yeah, yeah.
But
I like them both probably about the same.
yeah, I think obviously Bill Moseley stole the show in the first one, or sorry, in the second one in Devil's Rejects. First one's all about Captain Spaulding though.
Yeah,
For the
and
few
then
minutes that we get of him.
Bill was the creepiest character I've ever seen in that first one. It was like an albino, like it was just
He had
eerie.
the
Like
white hair and everything.
yeah, it was so scary. And
Um, like
well,
every
however you pulled that out of him, I've worked with him too on Big Top Evil, which you can stream too. And he was amazing on that. And then he also did a narration, like a voiceover thing for my new one called Bellevue Bob, which isn't quite out yet, but it will be on Screambox Bloody Bites. It's a 9 minute film.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And the star of that is David Vega, who's the sheriff in
And this
yeah.
he literally just popped up on people I might know on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, he's
Um,
he he's great.
yeah, and his picture is his little mustache. It's on your cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Your the cup you have there.
Oh yeah. Here's
Look at that mustache. It's
yeah.
glorious.
Yeah, he gave me this.
That's an awesome cup.
He's selling these, so we gotta get it to more horror cons and stuff so we can
Get them
get
out there.
those. Yeah.
But I think obviously everyone knows Bill Moseley from Texas
Texas Chain.
Chainsaw 2. For me, like everyone always refers to him as Chop Top. For me, he's Otis Driftwood, and he'll always be Otis Driftwood.
Yeah.
Um, it's my favorite character that he plays. I think it's his best role by a mile.
Yeah, I think Rob Zombie pulled something out of him that it's just was phenomenal. I mean, if they could have Oscars, that was an Oscar performance. If they could have
Yeah,
Oscars. For it.
horrors don't win Oscars though. Let's be
I
honest.
know, I know. But
Unless
that
unless it's special.
yeah,
Uh,
that performance was amazing.
yeah. Although, as I said, I think Sid Haig steals the first one.
Yeah, it is more Captain Spaulding. It's more cartoony too. That It's very colorful.
Yeah,
It's
like
it's kind of like videos.
I had completely forgot that first one, the whole opening scene, and it was like where he's like, "Fuck your mama, fuck your grandma." It's just brilliant, completely
Oh yeah,
brilliant. Sid
yes.
Haig was a genius.
Oh yeah.
And look,
He's a he's
I love seeing him. And like, I went back and I rewatched the Hatchet franchise recently, and I forgot that he was in the third one.
I don't know if I saw the third one. I've seen the first and second and jumped around a little bit.
The,
Cool.
I think is it the second one? No, I'm really sure it's the third one that he's in, and he plays a racist redneck. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just
Here we
genius.
go. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you just know what you're getting from him.
Oh yeah, he was already a veteran actor when Rob Zombie got him. He,
Yeah,
he,
I think that just
he was
brought
in a
him to
Bond movie. I think he was in a Bond movie and stuff.
that
Yeah.
like that just brought him to a new level again, though, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was conventions galore, right?
Yeah, and then obviously he met an unfortunate end at the time he did. But such is life.
Life is life. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
But the success of this movie, I think, is going to be exceptionally well received. Obviously, you're going to get people that don't like it because they don't like that type of film, or they don't get the comedy that's in it, which is fine. Like, I have no issue with reading reviews on films, right? And I don't know about you. Obviously, it's closer to your heart because you made it.
Yeah,
But if someone gave you, say, a 1 star review, right, with a piece on it that says, I didn't like this movie because this, and this, right? Compared to just getting a 1 star going, it was just shit.
right. Yeah,
You can take the constructive criticism one because they've got points behind why they don't like it.
sure.
Do you know what I mean? Where I go on to Rotten Tomatoes sometimes, just I don't know why I do it to myself because I know I get annoyed just reading some of the reviews, and I go on and find some of my favorite movies, and I go and read some of the reviews on them, especially the bad ones, just to see. And I do get really annoyed reading them, and I'm like, why am I even doing this? Like Jaws has a couple of 1 star reviews because the shark looks shit. There's not enough shark. I was like, why? What? I was like, Jaws is one of the greatest films ever made,
Still holds up.
ever.
Yeah.
And like, you just can't please everybody. But I can see why the early receptions to this is quite good. As I said, for me, it didn't hit at the start until it twigged in my brain, but it definitely hit off on a different level then.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be that's awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah, I feel like that is gonna be an approach. People may think it is like a Shaun of the Dead
Mm,
type setting, and it's not.
mm.
And and then with the Terrifier franchise, they may think it's gonna be you said cannibal. You've
As
seen
gory as that, yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust. But
What a
this,
movie.
this movie is mild, and when we premiered it, and different people's moms and people that don't watch horror, they actually liked it. So it was almost like a door to open
It's
into horror a little bit.
it's a very satire kind of movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's for people that aren't big horror fans that can
I
actually enjoy it. And I think horror fans and stand-up comedy fans
should
and
enjoy it.
stand-up comedians, that's another whole thing, that's another whole world. I want to really get their thoughts on the film, and I've had have some, and so we really pushed that and tried to make it authentic with the stand-up comedy in the movie because I had done it myself, so I understood the brutality of it.
Now, I'm gonna make this now, right? And you can coin this idea, but it gets credited to me. I'm gonna create a drinking game for you, right? Uh, so what you start doing is when you're pitching this at conventions, you say play a drinking game with your friends, watch it in the house. Every time there's a comedian pun or a cannibal pun or an eating pun, you take a drink.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think anyone lasts past about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Up until the end, man.
Yeah.
Like another. Take another drink.
Ca- Carrying it right till the end, baby.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
do you obviously you were involved with the script and everything? Do you know how many puns are actually in this movie?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ish.
I don't know. I don't. And we were even at the end, we were throwing in a couple more that we knew that we could throw in. And I mean, I have a whole list of other ones. I'm like, oh, and Ryan will be like, second one, second one. Yeah. So it's yeah, I mean, I wrote most of those. If you like them or hate them.
Yeah, I
Uh,
thought you were hilarious. I was sitting there going, yeah, keep the puns coming. The dad jokes are rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a dad now, so I can have bad dad jokes. But I had bad dad jokes before I was a dad, but now
My
it's allowed.
my young fella loves those silly jokes, like the penguin jokes and stuff. And we'd be in the
Hmm.
car on the way to school, and he'd be telling you these jokes, and I'm like, how do you even know these? Where did you even get that from? Now, if he wasn't 8, I'd probably let him watch this because there's nothing too bad in it to an extent. Fast forward a couple of bits, mute out
Yeah.
a couple of bits, but let him listen to all the jokes. Or that's what you
Well,
should do for that's what you should do for the Blu-ray. Just
yeah,
get a
that's fun.
cut the clip of all the jokes.
Yeah, no, I like the idea too of like figuring out exactly how many puns are in there or cannibal jokes. Uh, what? I just have to say like how fantastic this cast was, and I've worked with some of them through like Big Top Evil and even Mangrove Slasher, and uh, Aaron Prager, who plays the cannibal comedian, I mean, he just embodied that role and just killed it. And
No
and
pun
then
intended.
yeah, hey yo, and then Austin Judd, who played Crystal, she was just just very just kind of it. She embodied her role with this, she's got this toughness about her, and that something may happen at some point, and she just did a great job. And you got Miss Sadistic, who's Eleanor, and just she lights up the screen, and then David Vega. I'm like, this guy would never be sheriff. Let's make you sheriff. And then he brought that energy and that swagger, he likes to say.
It's a very Orly Emery Texas Chainsaw '03 kind of sheriff, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, for
Got there
sure.
by default.
Yep. Yeah,
The
yeah.
mustache is something else, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I said keep the mustache. I said you got to keep that mustache for the movie.
Now, what you need to do is, if there's a second one, right, you got to get
Yeah.
someone to come in with a Count Orlock mustache.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. That yeah, you got to keep the mustaches going, right? Got to do another crazy mustache.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um, I,
I was saying I want to get the for Cannibal 2 to have Bill Moseley and Caroline Williams because they were in Texas Chainsaw 2,
nice.
and then go on from there.
Get
And
get old Bill on the phone there.
oh yeah, yeah. And that would be cool.
I would be cool, and then have him. You could have Bill as the sheriff.
Bill can do anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
But
could. He
I
could.
would say that too because we have Alan Danziger
And
and Ed
Neil,
Neal from the first one and this one and our first one. So
just keep running through.
but keep maybe we'll see how it works out. Keep them in it too.
Wait,
Uh,
wait till you get to like number 6 or something, and you're scrambling through to see who you can
yeah,
get.
who was in Chainsaw 6? Yeah.
Alexandra Daddario,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was good. That was good. She would be good.
the 3D
What?
one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was fine. I like them all. I really do. I like them all. I think they all have something. But one of my favorites is the one with Jessica Biel, 2003.
That's
And
I'm part of the minority of people that think that's better than the original one.
well, you know who shot it?
No, well, what do you mean?
Daniel Pearl, who
Oh,
shot the
yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
sorry, yeah,
So the
yeah.
same
Sorry,
guy.
I thought you meant as in I know the director's name, but I couldn't think of it. But you'd have him
Yeah,
as the cinematographer.
the same DP, which I met him like a couple weeks ago, and yeah, he shot that film. So there you go, man.
I just think that '03 one was phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah,
The
100.
only thing I'd change is Andrew Berezovsky was too big. Like I know he's only 3 inches bigger than Gunnar Hansen was
Oh,
in
okay.
terms
Who
of height,
played?
but this
Oh,
way,
height wise.
he was just
Well, I mean, I'm friends with Brett Wagner, uh, who was
Leatherface.
Leatherface. Yeah, in that one, he got hurt.
He
Uh,
wasn't in the '03 one. He was in the beginning, wasn't he?
no, he was in '03, and he was the Kemper kill, like with the door
Oh, he was
and the
the original one.
yeah, yeah. Oh no, in '03, Brett Wagner was,
No,
but he wasn't able to
Ber-
keep
was
the
Berezovsky not the Berezovsky was the '03 Leatherface.
yeah for the rest of the movie. Uh,
Oh, okay. I didn't realize
Brett
they changed it.
Yeah, Brett was the cast as Leatherface, and that scene, I think he would tell it better, but he got like heat stroke and hurt and a lot of stuff going on, and having to slide that door and drag the other actor, and
Eric Bach or
yeah,
Eric
yeah,
Bauer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but he's in that. That's him. That's Brett Wagner when he does that kill.
Oh, I never realized they changed it.
Yeah.
I just thought Berezovsky was too big. Um, and I think like that to me was the only issue with that movie. I think Orly Emery is fucking phenomenal as the sheriff, the grandpa.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh, um, I
Amazing.
everything was just brilliant about that.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best remakes.
I
Uh,
agree. It is.
it's not the best remake though,
What's the
but
best?
the thing is the greatest remake in
Oh
any
yeah, yeah, yeah,
in any genre.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, TCM would be definitely up there for me.
yeah. Total Recall is for me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street though. Nightmare on Elm Street was right up there at the top of the dog shit pile.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was weird.
Oh, it was horrendous. Do you know what? Actually, I take that back. It wasn't horrendous. The first 45 minutes of that movie actually set a good precipice to it, and then it just became a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I remember wanting to like it, I think. Or maybe I went in a weird way too, because like I said from the beginning of the podcast, like Robert England, like that's
He is
Freddy.
just,
Like even
yeah,
as a little kid, he was on the box, where you get the makeup and stuff. So that was
no.
Freddy Krueger. It's like, yeah, it doesn't
I
work with anything else.
I didn't mind the casting of Jackie Earl Haley. I thought his voice was very good. Obviously, Nightmare on Elm Street One is
Short
my,
too.
huh?
He's short too, right? He's
He is
short.
short, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't have
I
the right stature for it.
I love the original. It's my favorite horror movie. It's the first horror movie I really ever watched at like 11 or 12. Um, and I went to see it in the cinema when it came out in 2010. And I walked out of the cinema going, I'm not sure if I liked it or I didn't like it. So I went again at 11 o'clock the next morning to see it in the morning. And I walked out and was like, stupid film, piece of shit, waste of money, fuck this, fuck that. And
Yeah.
I think I've watched it once since.
Yeah.
It's just horrendous. And like, there's not a whole lot of good you can say about it. Like, I like Kyle Gallner. He was okay in it. Rooney Mara was okay in it at best. Some of the death scenes, obviously, we had seen them before. But yeah, it was just meh.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
The Dawn of the Dead remake was very good. The Zack Snyder one.
that was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. The thing though for me, I've said it on nearly every podcast when remakes get brought up. It's the greatest remake in any genre, bar none.
Yeah, that one is. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that movie's crazy.
The John Carpenter one.
I haven't seen it in a while. Yeah, Kurt Russell's awesome. That was his guy back then.
Kurt Russell is the unsung hero of the '80s.
Yeah.
And look, speaking of Kurt Russell, like you see this,
What do you got?
it's a Big Trouble in Little China top.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's my favorite movie of all time.
yeah, that's a good one. No, I
It
love
took
John
it took it took it took me 34 years to realize it,
Carpenter.
but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hmm.
Yep, Escape from New York. And they
Oh,
shot some
it's
of it.
got to be Escape from LA. Escape from LA is the better one of the two.
Really? I mean, no one ever
No,
says that.
no, nobody ever says that. Nobody ever will say that. But before we divulge out too far, have you got any other plans then for a follow up to this, or is it just pipeline work?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it before too. We we have the ideas, outlines. There's a lot of stuff that we could do in a second one. And it's really going to come down to you, people, the people.
We
And
the people.
yeah, to get us, that want us to make another one. And I would love to, it would be a lot of fun. So really, it's yeah, just getting this movie out there and then seeing how it does. I have a script for a new movie, and on top of that, I have another movie in post production. So
Is it a horror movie?
yeah, it's called Area 5150. That's there's a teaser online too for that, and
It's an
that
alien movie, I take it.
alien and horror, yeah, and comedy.
I'm in.
So yep,
I'm all
it's
in.
got some of the same cast too. So that movie's a lot of fun. So that one's been in post for a hot second, but so I got that. I got another script, and I also have a lot of ideas for a second Cannibal. So whatever one we can get rocking and rolling, we're gonna do it. And I would love to keep this character going, man. If the
Uh,
people want
and we'll be right here waiting.
it.
I'm all in.
Get your pictures with the Cannibal Comedian,
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless you're gonna fly me out, that ain't happening.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was hoping that someone's gonna fly me out there. We're in the same boat.
We'll meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Passing shit, passing planes.
Yeah, yeah,
Bye.
yeah.
Yeah. The no, as I said, I quite enjoyed Cannibal when it actually clicked in my own head as to what it was. Right, but
Cool.
I'm gonna give you a tough question now, right?
All right.
So I make this movie, right? The exact same way that you did, and you're watching it in my shoes. Out of 5, what would you give it?
Out of five. Ooh, ouch.
These are the hard hitting questions that we're known for.
Uh, it's a. I'm
So
gonna have to say it's
basically saying unbiasedly, what would you give it?
unbiased. Do you do this with everybody? Do they actually
Yeah, it's
give
tough.
you? Do they tell you?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can cut this part out, right?
nope, no cutsies.
I think you got to look at it this way too. It's a do-it-yourself horror film. It's an very independent movie. First, you got to bring the bar down. It's not The Monkey or something. It's not a big movie. It's a very small movie. I really think it is super well done. I would give it a 4.5. I really would. And because it's the way we made it, and you have to get the documentary and watch that, because that's going to really showcase like how we did this, like. And I, I I'm really happy with it, and I would click on it and I would enjoy it if I didn't even know anything about it. I would be like, man, I should have came up with that.
God damn, he's good. So for me, um, I said it didn't really. Is that you passing that envelope across now for a 5 star? Um, for me, it didn't click at the start. So as I said, I rewatched the first hour again today. It clicked a bit better. As I said, beautifully shot. Character arcs were great. The music was good. Could have been better. Good stand up
Well,
there.
I just did the songs. Yeah. I
Well,
didn't score it.
the lyrics of the songs were meh.
Yeah.
No, no. Like, as everyone knows on this show, I'm not a huge music person. So the music, unless it's really out there, I'm never really gonna focus
Yeah,
too much on knocking points off for it.
sure. Yeah. It's almost better if you're not really noticing it. It's just there and it's
Yeah.
working.
So the problem for me is if I notice the music, it's either epically amazing or epically out of place.
Right. Yeah.
And
It was written
90%,
into the script, the songs. So I kind of did that Quentin Tarantino thing where this is
yeah.
where that song is gonna go.
Yeah. So, like, for me, there are certain films where the music is just completely out of it.
Oh yeah. Music can
Um,
ruin.
oh, yeah, absolutely. And, like, I never really understood, growing up, I never really understood how important music was to films, but put the wrong song in the wrong place, and, like, the whole movie just collapses.
Yeah.
Um, the effects were very good in the death scenes. Spoiler alert: there are death scenes in this movie. Who would have ever guessed in a comedy horror movie that
It
there'd
better
be
be.
deaths? For me, would it being an indie film that doesn't really affect how I view the film, whether it's got a big budget or a small budget.
Sure.
Um, so like for instance, we have on our old show we had a podcast or a list that we keep of all the new movies we watch. And an indie film broke my top 10 of all movies last year, and it was made off a budget of 300 quid. That's how good it
Whatever
was.
that is.
Uh, yeah, it's called Life of Bell.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely phenomenal. If you get a chance to check it out, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, by Sean Robinson. But
Sean's
from
make good movies.
only some of them. You got to have quick wit around here. For me, you said 4.5. I'd have been going 3.5 to somewhere near 4. Um, for things to get up that high, like there hasn't been many. Alien Romulus got up there. Late Night with the Devil got up there. They don't like that. Them high rankings don't get put out all that often. And I get when it's hard for me to say to you if someone else made the movie without trying to be biased. You're like, okay, I'll give it this or that.
Yeah.
We just put it out there. I just put it out there as a slap in the face question to see what you
Oh
come
yeah,
up.
no, that one. It's just like I'm still thinking about. I'm like, am I? How am I supposed? That is such a yeah. That you got me with that one. I mean, who the hell is? Are you're supposed to say 10. It's the best movie ever. It's the best movie made. I think of it as like it's a really solid movie. It's got a lot of substance. It's got characters. It's got things that you could make a second one. You'd want to see these characters and make an even better movie. And kind of like Terrifier. Terrifier 2 is a damn
That
good movie.
that's peak.
Yeah, so it's really I only gave it that little bit because the imperfections and the things that you know that I feel honestly like if we had more time, more money, I mean we had a lot of time. It's really when you're doing something with so low budget with not a big team, it's really difficult to get anything done. So sometimes you just have to just okay, this is it. This is fine. It works. Moving on to the next thing. So
I, I mean, like as I said, it's not a knock on the movie at all. um, to get a 3.5 out of it. Like I've done some of the big Hollywood movies where I've given it a 1 star because they've been absolutely atrocious.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean? The high ranking 4s and 5s don't get thrown out all that easy. Um, like
appreciate
as
it.
as I said, I'll definitely watch this again now. I probably won't watch it till next year because I have a thing where I don't watch movies again in a year because I try and get as many individual movies watched in the year. And this year I'm currently going for 365 out of 365. So uh, rewatching certain movies doesn't really happen for me. Um, I definitely will watch it again though in a year's time and be like, yeah, maybe it did deserve the 4, maybe it didn't.
Well, we'll see.
Um,
Let me know next year.
yeah, but Sean, obviously you said you have a few projects upcoming. We'll definitely keep a close eye on them. And obviously, if there's anything you want to put out, give us a shout, and we'll certainly throw some things out for you when you've got some new stuff in the works.
Oh yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, you can see the teaser for Area 5150, which is going to be the next one that's going to come out. And not Cannibal Comedians could be the next one after that if we get you know, if it becomes something I think it's a special movie, but I am a
Comedians,
little
eh?
biased. Yeah, hey.
No, I don't like it. Take it back.
Well, it's at the end. Oh shit! I just gave my own spoiler. We've been on too long. I'm spoiling my food.
That's my dinner, man.
That's a cannibal's dinner. I'm spoiling.
um, yeah, but as I said, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, your afternoon to come on. Obviously it's mid-afternoon for yourselves.
Yes, it is.
Uh, so you go and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thanks for having me, and yeah, and
Absolutely.
yeah, have a good one.
Absolutely. And as I said, if you want to come back on, even if it's just for a chat about movies that are out now, or if you want to have a chat about other things, let us know. And we'll line it up.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, I had a lot of fun. We talked a lot of horror. Yeah,
uh,
that
it's
was
a,
great.
I find sometimes if someone comes on a second time when it's not sort of about one particular thing, some of the conversation that comes out is just off the chains.
Oh yeah, yeah, it can get wild. I like it.
But what I'll do, folks, is I'll finish this the way I finish every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.